The simp. This is a recent term for me. I just heard of the simp. I mean, I know of the simp. I just never saw it put in an acronym. I know of guys like this. I never understood simps. I I've been a loser, but I've never been a simp. I think a loser and a simp. I think a simp. No offense to simps. I mean, they're kind people, which is why they're simps, and they get taken advantage of. But simps are one level below a loser because they're voluntarily being a loser. A loser who was one step above a simp could have just been given horrible cards. A loser could have just been given horrible cards, or he's lazy, he doesn't want to work. A simp is someone who's voluntarily choosing to be a loser, to suck up to women, to try to think that he's going to get hot chicks or even chicks, any chicks, and chicks are walking all over him. But how is a simp made? What makes a simp? What creates a simp? I think a simp. It was hard. It's almost impossible to do any research on this whatsoever. It's a new term. It's fairly new, and I don't think you could find evidence for how someone becomes a simp. So this mostly is just my opinion of how someone becomes a simp. Let me just talk. Let me just say. Let me just describe the definition of a simp for anyone who doesn't know. And this is the Urban Dictionary definition, which is the real definition. There's an actual definition for simp if you look up on Google. It just says silly or foolish person. It's pretty funny that there's a definition for that. Simp. Suckers idolizing mediocre pussy. Yeah, I actually disagree. I think suckers idolizing any pussy. I think you're a simp if you're idolizing any pussy. Basically, someone who gives redundant and over-the-top attention to women that are of far less value than the attention of praise given. I still disagree. I don't think you should be praising any chick. Usually, the recipient of this praise is knowing of this and is taking full advantage knowing this fact. Thus, the term sucka is the main attribute and usually results in the pending downfall of this kind of man. I think that it's actually idolizing any pussy, even a hot, super hot. I mean, you could respect. I don't know if you can respect, but you can respect 10 for the genetics that she was given. But thinking that you're going to get her, you really should just take her off your radar. You're not going to get her. Even if you get her, you're not going to hold on to her unless you're of her level, unless you're a guy of her level, a 10 guy. And even then, I think you should have more value than a woman. I think a man should have more value than a woman. I think that is the only way a relationship can work out, or even anything, dating, anything can work out, is a guy should have more value than a woman. A woman will leave your ass and at a drop of a hat, at any moment's notice. But how is a simp made? I think a simp is desperation. Is a desperate guy coupled with a lack of desire or willpower to raise one's value, which is one kind of simp. I also think another simp is a gullible person. It's just someone who doesn't know that the girl doesn't like him. Someone who has no idea, who can't pick up on the disinterest, the not the opposite of IOIs. I don't know what they were, DOIs, indicators of disinterest, IODs. Someone who just can't pick up on those things. And maybe it's because they have super high self-esteem. Maybe that's why I was never simp, because I just had low self-esteem. I was like, okay, this girl doesn't like me. Maybe if you have too high of self-esteem, you could be a simp, because you think that the girl you live in a fantasy world and you just think the girls like you when they don't. That could have something to do with it. Are they raised differently? I don't know. I really think it's a genetic thing. I think it's your personality type that makes you a simp. Are they raised differently? No father figure, so maybe they need more emotional attachment. Maybe they weren't. Maybe they don't know how to be a guy. Maybe they weren't raised by a strong father, by an alpha. If you're raised by an alpha father, you're never gonna be a simp ever. You're just gonna focus too much on yourself and understand the value of money. But maybe it has something to do with no father figure, being too attached to your mother. Or you can go down the other, no friends. Maybe they have no friends and they need emotional attachment. Regardless, it seems like they need emotional attachment. It seems like they need some type of love and attention and care anywhere they can get it, even if the girl doesn't like them. Too low of self-esteem. Maybe they have too low of self-esteem and are desperate for anything, and so they're just stalking a girl that doesn't like them. They're just going after girls that don't like them, or they're in a relationship with a girl who doesn't like them, but they have such low self-esteem they don't care, or they have too high of self-esteem. They could have too high of self-esteem and be gullible and just be totally oblivious that the girls don't like them or their girlfriend doesn't like them. It's so hard to know what really makes a simp. I still think it's personality. Simps definitely aren't able to be alone. You need to be able to be alone as a guy. A girl doesn't need to be able to be alone. A girl can always get a guy. A girl can always hang out with a guy anytime she wants. She can literally, and I told you guys I've been on dating sites for years. I have seen girls' profiles. Because I know every single chick that runs through the rotation. That's how long I've been on and how many profiles I go through. So I know every girl that comes through. I know all the new ones. And I've seen some new ones where their profile just says, me and my boyfriend just broke up, just looking to hook up. And then their profile will be gone the next day. That is how fast a girl can get somebody. So they don't need to learn to be alone. A guy must learn to be alone. He needs to be able to be alone. If you're not able to be alone, you're going to need to rely on someone. You're always going to need to rely on someone to be there for you, for probably emotional support, someone to talk to, some nonsense shit that I don't know, that I don't understand about. I've always been a loner, so I don't really understand that. I think it's healthier to be around people, but I do not think it's healthier to have to be around people. That I think is unhealthy. And yeah, I said a simp is below a loser. And no offense to simps. I mean, simps are they're better people than me. They're probably nice. I'm cold. That's probably why I was never a simp. I'm just cold, pessimistic. Once I know a girl doesn't like me, I'm done. They're off the radar. And if I ask a girl to hang out or go out and she says no, it's done. I'll only talk to her as a normal. She's now a normal person. Hey, good morning, and then I go on my phone. There's nothing. I'm not trying to hook up. And if I'm talking to a girl, I'm trying to hook up with them. I think girls are clueless. I think if a guy is talking to a girl, he's not trying to be your friend. He's trying to hook up with you, unless he's asking you for directions or something. Girls sometimes get a little weird, and they think every guy's hitting on them, which is another thing I'll talk about one day. But I'm not talking to a girl after she denies me. It's over. They become a regular person. I think simps hang on. Simps keep stalking and going on and on after these girls, and I don't understand that. I don't understand why. If they don't understand, maybe they don't know the girl doesn't like them. I don't know. I don't know what makes a simp. So in conclusion, what I think makes a simp is just genetics. I think it's your personality type. I think you can unbecome a simp. I think you can be conditioned to not be a simp. I think most simps are high school kids. Most simps are high school kids because girls have the most value in high school, along with guys don't know enough about girls in high school. So you couple those together, and then you have super simps. And the super simps, they can be conditioned to not be simps as they get older. But I really think it's a genetic personality type that makes you a simp.